Alabopo, the Ant, by Sir Edward P. Smeikel. Written by Sir Edward P. Smeikel and read by Sir Edward P. Smeikel. Alabopo woke up in his room he shared with his two brothers, Ompapo and Bopopo. They slept on the moth-juice-made floor covered with leaves. The Po family was not rich enough to afford walls made with drugged and killed lava, but they were happy being ants anyway. Alabopo climbed out of his home and decided to go play all day. He walked with his tiny ant feet across the land, and he saw bugs fly by. "I wish I had wings," Alabopo said. He often wondered what happens if you go up. Being an ant, he could only see so far. When he looked up, he could only see black. He could hardly see in front of him. He saw a mosquito, so he ran under a leaf to hide, because mosquitoes can be quite annoying with their useless merchandise they want to sell to other bugs. Alabopo saw a piece of a dead bug. He ate a little bit of black skin. It tasted like fly, so that's what it was. He climbed up a flower and arrived at its top that was yellow and it smelled good. He stayed there for a while until he got tired of its smell. And so he climbed another flower, and it was smaller and blue. It smelled like his grandma's perfume. He saw a bee approach. The bee was carrying a tray with honey samples.
"Free samples!"
he screamed with his bee voice.
"Free samples from our hives!"
Alabopo took some honey, and it tasted great. "I want more," he said.
"Come visit our hive."
The bee flew with the ant to a big hive. Alabopo was put in an octagon-shaped room and ate a lot of honey. His little ant arms were all sticky. He ran out, and the bee said,
"Hey buddy, you gonna pay for that?"
He jumped off the hive, and now he was falling. He landed on a passing flying bug, and it landed on a flower. A shitload of bees were after him. One bee can sting, but a swarm can kill. He ran in the forest and saw a little hole and hid in it until they were gone. When he came out, the swarm was gone. He had trouble walking fast. "The honey was sweet, but too much made me sick." He noticed that he was in the vicinity of Freddy the Cockroach's house, so he went and paid a visit. His worn-down shack was still there. He was an unusual cockroach, leading a reclusive life. Cockroach communities living in human premises was of no interest to him. It was dangerous, too, having to avoid many death traps laid out by humans. After his visit, Alabopo encountered a gang of young ants. "We are smelling something quite sweet coming from the south," one of them said. Alabopo could also smell it. What could it be? He joined them to find out. They arrived at the source. It was a discarded sandwich. An awesome sight for little ants. A gigantic snack. They began crawling over it, eating as much as they could. When they were full, they went their separate ways. Alabopo decided to go back home. He was going up a hill in a sand-filled area. When he got on top, he came face to face with a large red ant. "Where do you think you're going?" "Home," Alabopo replied. "Not if I have anything to say about it." The red ant plunged forward, but Alabopo ran up a tree, and a beautiful butterfly went by and said, "Hang on to me!" Alabopo went on its back and soared over the land. There were many red ants looking up, cursing at Alabopo. "Ha ha! Try and get me now!" When they were far away enough, he jumped off. He started to feel a little bit peckish, so he headed for the closest storage cellar. He went down the hole and walked through the corridors. And then he found it. A large number of ants were hanging from the ceiling, motionless. Their bodies almost ready to burst, for they were honey-filled repletes. He got up on his back legs and asked one to open his mouth. "Open, please." The replete obeyed his command, and a drop of honey came out of his mouth and into Alabopo's. "Ah, that is quite refreshing." He went back outside, feeling well fed. He looked up, and in the tree was a spider in the corner of his web, waiting for a prey to wander into it. "Ha! You'll be starving all week. I, on the other hand, have an unlimited supply of honey." The spider was quite irritated by the ant's reply.
Why, you come up here and I'll show you a thing or two. Hey, come back here. I'll show you. Come on, hey. Are you scared? Come on, I'll show you.
Alabopo began heading for home when he smelled something burning. He saw a school of ladybugs on fire. The teacher and some kids were safely outside. The teacher yelled out to Alabopo for help.
"There are still some children inside. Save them. They will die."
Bopo didn't hesitate for a second and ran inside through the smoke and searched. He followed the sound of screaming ladybug children. "Climb on my back," he said. He ran outside with them, and the others rejoiced.
"Oh, thank you, Alabopo. You are a noble hero."
"It was nothing. I got a shiny black polish out of it." He left for home with the sunset at his side. Tomorrow is another day, he thought.